Hey friend, how you doing? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. I thought I'd just give you a bit of a cleanse, if you like. Just a little bit of a sage. So if you're feeling like you need a cleanse, just connect in, close your eyes, and just feel the energy from the top of your head all the way down your neck, your back, your spine. Just clear away. Just breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. Okay, done, Pisces. How are you? This is Jamie. If we haven't met, I'm excited to connect with you. Let's see what is going on and how we can support your journey right now. You definitely soaked up that sage cleanse because the burning quickly stopped. So that's a good thing. All right. Let's get into it. What does our Pisces friends need to know? Thank you, Spirit, for our Pisces. For our Pisces. I'm going to pull 3 cards just to see what the main energy is, and then we'll dive into each. I've been just doing a bit of a change up with that. Let me know if that's supporting you with the messages coming through. And it's Friday where I am. It's been a very full week. I realise if I don't have a break midweek, I get a bit cranky. So, not sure if you're feeling me. All right, Pisces, what do our friends need to know here? Card 1, 2, and 3. We've actually got 4. So let's see what this is about, what you need to know. First energy is action. Okay. Then you've got yin and yang. This has been coming out a bit for you, Pisces. Then we've got all tied up and the temple path. Take a breath, because I feel like there's some unneeded stresses here, Pisces. It just feels like, you know, this all tied up energy kind of sits like in the 8 of Swords space. So it feels like there's something moving forward. It feels like there's something connected. It feels like there's something that you're called into. But then there's this part of just like, there's doubt, or there's worry, or there's something here that is getting in between this path and journey. 12, number 3, you've got a master number here. It seems like there's something that you need to let go of, and maybe that's the hard part. Maybe that's something that you're worried about. Maybe that's something that you're doubting, unsure if that's what you should be doing. Because the temple path is, you know, an important part of your journey. It's where you go for growth, but that growth comes in a way of understanding yourself more, elevating to the place that you want to go, to where you're meant to be, to the things that you're desiring and feel called for. You know, there's a lot of, when we connect to this, there's a lot of understanding of self that's happening along the way. This is about you. This is about you and where you're going right now. So let's dive in a little more and see what we need to know in terms of this action energy, and get you some guidance, okay? For our Pisces, thank you, Spirit. What does our Pisces need to know about this? All right, action energy. What do we need to know? Thank you, Spirit. What do we need to know? What's challenging this energy? Oh, got a bit of challenge. Empress, 2 of Wands, the Hierophant, the Hermit. Yeah, it's like you don't know if you want to commit to this path. If you should be giving your all, if this, you know, is the thing that is meant for you. There's a bit of question that seems to be coming through, okay? But what, at the same time, I mean, this is sitting in your challenge energy. At the same time, what I feel that you need, because challenge just means, you know, something that you're working through. It doesn't need to be a major issue. But what it seems like is that there is something that you want to start. There is something that, you know, is growing, is in production here for you, okay? In terms of the plans. But the part of commitment seems to be maybe a little bit worrisome for you, right? Because then it means you're locked in, you're stuck into it. And maybe for some of you that feels a little bit engulfing, okay? But what I like is this is asking you to just sit back again. There's a little bit, again, about self-reflection and about a day at a time, connecting to your path, connecting to your truth as you're moving forward, okay? The yin and yang energy, what do we need to know, Spirit? Thank you. Wow, there's a lot here. Three of Swords, Temperance, the Tower, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. Wow, okay. There's no doubt here with this Three of Swords energy and the Temperance energy, you've worked through something in your life, Pisces, that's brought you disappointment, that you felt very connected to, or you feel connected to, you know, and perhaps you're trying to get to a place of harmony, a place of balance, a place where there's unity in a way of strength rather than, you know, coming together in a way of, you know, sometimes when you connect with someone, it's over trauma bonding, or it's a bit, the spark is not the healthy spark that you seek. And this could come in many different forms, right? You know, relationship in terms of romantic, in terms of friendship, in terms of, you know, the work that you want to do, the type of things that you want to create. I just feel like what you've attempted to do at some point in time, there's this element here of still working through how you feel about the situation. I think, you know, that there's a part of, it's interesting. I feel there's a part of you that is ready to accelerate, is ready to go a certain direction, but you're holding back. And I think it's a, you know, protective energy, which is normal, which is understood, because I think something here potentially might surprise you in terms of a strong partnership coming through, in some form of a reciprocation. I think you might be surprised what takes flight, what takes interest here, but there's definitely some form of attraction, some form of spark that you will acknowledge and see and feel. And I think too, when you're making the decision of direction and commitment, these energies are going to be an important piece. Maybe you're going to surprise yourself. You know, maybe you're going to surprise yourself. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not doing this again, or I'm not doing that again. And this seems different, but this seems called, you know, like, yeah, so maybe that's part of the challenge, is that you're like, you've said something before that I feel like for some of you, you've said something before that you said you wouldn't do, or you wouldn't do it this way, or whatever else. I feel you're safe in this, whatever this is, but it's also part of your journey of growth, of self-regulating, of freedom of self, you know, around that, and trusting in who you are. All tied up, what do we need to know about this? You've got the Six of Cups. Yeah, there's a very strong protective energy that you have here. Two of Pentacles. You're not sure if you should be giving to this. You've got the Five of Swords, and that's what's keeping you stuck. There's still some doubts here, and the Devil energy. As you know, I don't read reversals, okay? This did come flipped. So I'm going to mention here, especially when you've got the Five of Swords with the Devil, be aware of what causes conflict and how conflict shows up. So if you are wanting to reconcile with someone, and guys, you know this, but sometimes we need to hear it from a friend, or sometimes we need to feel it enough that we're aware that, you know, we're just not ignoring it anymore. I think there's something here you need to let go of. And I think there is an approach of communication that you experience with someone or something, that no matter how much you show up, you try to talk, you try to bring some harmony, some balance, some understanding to the situation. Maybe you try to reconcile with this energy. I feel like you're constantly met with conflict as a way to connect versus freedom and peace. Maybe someone's just so convicted that they're right and how they feel or how something's done. And I feel this is the breath of air that you need to free yourself from. You know, you need that fresh like you need your freedom from it. So I don't know exactly what that is about, but there is something that keeps causing conflict, whether this is a verbal conflict, mental conflict, written conflict. There's some form of communication that happens around someone or around a situation that I think, you know, it feels like you're trying to come from the right place. You're trying to work, you know, figure this out. Maybe, you know, someone has high expectations of you and you're trying to manage it. You're trying to work with it. Maybe it's related to a child figure, or maybe it's related to people who look up to you. And it's just like, well, I can't always give, and you're feeling a bit stuck in the movement around this energy. And I feel like this is the part of, you know, releasing yourself from, maybe it's burden, guilt, frustration, like I can't get it right, you know, there's this, you're putting this heaviness on you about this situation, and is it really yours to carry, you know? And I think that's something that you're still working through about this situation, and that's kind of what's, yeah, it's just like, it's just keeping you from moving forward. And what would happen if you just fully just kept going and allowed this to do what it needs to do, allow this to become what it needs to become, but doing what you need to do for you. And if they're coming with you, if they're not coming with you, if you're leaving this behind, if you're setting new boundaries, whatever that is, this is something that you really need to decide. Do you want to stay here? Or are you heading to this temple path? Are you heading to the place of self, to the place of growth, to this place of where you know how to take care of yourself, self-regulate, you know, create those dreams, those goals, those ambitions, you know, that you have. And maybe that's the fear of this person. They cause this to keep you in the place that you need. You know, it's like they'll inundate you with work, or inundate you with problems, or inundate you with words, or inundate you with something, and it's just, you've now got this load and you've got to keep working through this load. And until that load it's kind of like a control mechanism, it feels, you know. So you're probably feeling a little bit stuck and a little bit trapped with that. Let's see what this outcome is with this temple, the temple path. So you've got the Nine of Pentacles, and like I did say, this is a journey of self, of self-success, of freedom, of stability. What else do we need to know here? We've got the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. See, and this is what it's like. If you succeed and you show up and you do the thing for you, you're carrying this around for some reason, which is the Five of Pentacles. There's something here about not being enough, or lacking some. And if this is not how you're directly feeling or subconsciously feeling, I feel what's happening is that this conflict is, if you succeed, they're left behind, you know. What else do we need to know about this? Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. We've got the Five of Wands and the King of Cups. You've got a few fives here. Fives are about change. Fives are also about stripping away from the place of, the way it feels is this is stripping away from the real issue here, you know. It's coming in feelings, it's coming in actions, it's coming in communication, but it's not solving what the issue is, because it seems like there's a lot of care. There's, you know, when there's a person, Pisces, and this could ultimately be you, but I also know Pisces, right? You hang in there, you hang in there, you hang in there, you show up, you hang in there, and then you get to a point of your compassion is just there, but then there's a part of you that is so secure in yourself, knowing that you've showed up, knowing that you've tried everything, that you can move on in a way of love and care and peace, knowing that you did everything possible, but you just can't push through this. You can't get on the same page. You can't keep draining your energy on a certain situation. Because ultimately, at the end of the day here, there is a lot of care, there is a lot of love, but there's a lot of emotional awareness of what's going on and how to handle this situation. So I think there's something about your own success and your own path, and you're getting challenged on this around something or someone. And I think sometimes you carry that burden, right? I can see that here, you carry that burden. There's a point in time, you know, that's not fair on you, you know. Let's have a look at what the advice is in terms of the outcome. What's the advice here? Thank you, Spirit. This is about making a decision, Pisces, and stepping in that. And I think this is what will help you know where to commit, know what people, what groups, what community, whatever that Hierophant represents in that commitment. It's a step at a time. The Hermit energy is self-reflection, but a step at a time. But also, you know, acknowledging your goodness and what's really going on, you know. And sometimes people, like I said, cause conflict more from attention, don't want to lose you, but they don't have the maturity and haven't had the... Sometimes it's not the maturity, it's the, I mean, well, yes, it can be that they lack emotional awareness or maturity, but it's what they've learned, right? So that they're doing the best that they can with what they know. But are they willing to make change? You know, look, you've got all fives here. So change is needed, okay? There's no doubt change is needed. There's no doubt there is, when there's change, there is a sense of loss. But can you keep holding yourself back for someone else or something else that's just not serving you anymore, you know, or that's not giving? One more, thank you, Spirit, in terms of towards the outcome. What does Pisces need to know? Ten of Cups. So I'm talking about Willis, you know. I know it's hard to make a decision, but I think that's the key factor here. What's your truth in this Ten of Cups? What's that alignment? What's that path? What are you willing to take charge in for yourself here? I know it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's warranted. And I think the right things, the right people will show up for you. You've been through your crap, Pisces. You've been through a lot of stuff. What's good for you now, you know? And I know you go through this cycle often because you get into a place of care and comfort and love for things and people. And but then you get this little reminder. You've got something powerful here for you that's meant to come in, that's meant to align, that's meant for you. But you're stuck in something that I feel needs to kind of get a little more real with, that if you don't make the change or don't choose yourself, it's really going to slow down this path and journey. And sometimes, you know, when we make hard decisions, it allows the other person to make hard decisions for themselves. Maybe they need to get out of their own way. Maybe you're not realizing that you're actually enabling their behavior by staying. You're keeping them safe and you're not helping yourself. And I feel this is something here. This is about you, to do for you. And I feel at the same time this is a little bit of a test of how far are you willing to go for your goals, your ambition, your successes, your growth, your stability, your financial success, you know. I'm going to leave it there, Pisces. Appreciate you. Let me know in the comments below. Speak soon. Bye.